Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh everyone. We are from group 4 with member Muhammad Ade Yusuf, Muhammad Soleh, Poppy Pedrianti, Siti Masita, and Zioraldi Gusman. Today, we will be discuss about poem. This presentation is structured as follows. Definition of poem, poem characteristic, kind of poem, function of poem. After my presentation, there will be time for a question and answer session. My first point discuss definition. Definition of poem. A poem is a piece of writing using beautiful or unusual language arranged in a fixed line that has a certain beat and rhyme. That is, poetry or rhyme is an English literary work in the form of writing written using beautiful language. Usually, poetry also has a rhyme that is similar to one another. A common mistake that often happens is people like to think that poetry is a poem. In terms of form, they are similar, but in fact, poetry and rhymes are clearly different. A poem written for each and every form of presentation and composition of poetry written with poetry is usually written in language and has an aesthetic in this presentation.
Poem characteristic. Each literary work has its own characteristic. Rhymes in English also have a meaning. Characteristic that is very easy to recognize. Among others, poem is written in language or words that are more concise and easier to understand. When compared to poetry, although written more concisely, the depth of meaning to be conveyed is certainly not lost or reduced. Poem has a characteristic with straightforward and fine language. This straightforwardness is the main attraction of the poem. The straightforward language used in the poem can even change one's thinking.
About romance. Kinds of poem. 1. Ballad. Usually written about romance. Ballads have sentences that similar to song lyrics that can be sung. Ballads contain personal stories and usually have frequent repetition of words. 2. Elegy. In writing a poem, all emotion can be mixed into one, however, especially for elegy. The poems written are sad or mourning poems. Elegy is usually performance, funeral, and usually not recitative, but may take the form of a song lyrics being sung. Free verse. Free verse. Although poems are usually written using the same rhyme or writing. The free verse is a form that is free from their rules. Usually the free verse is difficult to distinguish from poetry because it has same form. Imagery. It is a form that reads like a snippet of words, not a sentence. It could be that in one line only consists of one word which is not necessarily related to the previous sentence or word.
In Memory of You by Alan Egor. In memory of you, the soul voice with a storybook in her hand, always gives a nightly. The moon, rigor to overcast my eyes, to keep American stage in dark of night. The forehead kisses give the last touch after I sleep. When I open my eyes, I feel simply alive. I heard the soft voice of you. You are the daylight in my day. You are the one that's greatest brother be gone. You are the word within my soul. You are the eyes that facilitate American state to aviation. She was there. The wind brings the soul in raiment. I was alone to stay my sweet remaining sins. Clothed longing through your shadow. Okay, thank you. This poem of Memory of You by Alan Edward. This poem tells of a child who asks for mother love and remembers along that night.
Function of poem. The mind of a poem is to convey an idea or emotion in a beautiful language. It paints a picture of what the poets feel about a thing, person, idea, concept, or even an object. Next, poets grab the attention of the audience through the use of vivid imagery, emotional scenes, figurative language, and other rhetorical devices. Next, the sovereign function of a poem is to transform imagery and words into verse form to touch the hearts and minds of the readers. Next, they can easily arouse the sentiments of their readers through perception. In addition, poets evoke imaginative awareness about things by using a specific diction, sound, and rhyme. Conclusion. Poem is English literally work in the form of writing using beautiful language. Poems and poems are different. Poems are written and thrive in each word, in an orderly and bound form and presentation, while poetry is written in figurative language and has aesthetic in its delivery. Poems is written in a language that is more concise and easy to understand, but does not reduce the meaning conveyed. As for the kinds of poems, namely ballad, elegy, preverse, and imagery. Alright, thank you for attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.